Good afternoon, shooters. I'm Konstantinos Papachristou, and I welcome you to just another IPSC shooter live streaming. In today's live streaming, we have a great personality, a noble person, and a successful shooter who doesn't need any specific introduction. Hola Jorge, ¿qué tal?
Hola.
I'm fine.
How are you?
This is all the Spanish that I know. The rest are Mexican Spanish from Narcos, and I don't want to start spitting bad words because it will be most inappropriate. Welcome to just an IPSC shooter live streaming.
Yeah, that will be
It's a
fun.
great honor for us for having you here to support our amateur effort to promote IPSC, to give voice to the common shooter, to exchange knowledge and experience, and most of all, to connect people. Welcome and thank you very much.
Thanks to you. Hello, everyone who is watching us today.
So, shall we begin? Shooter, are you ready? Okay.
We are ready.
First of all, before we start the questions concerning about IPSC, I think that our viewers would like to know a few things about Jorge as a person, and not just Jorge, an IPSC World Champion. So we would like to know a few things about you. Did you listen our question, or we have a problem with the voice?
No, the last.
Okay. If I hear, probably you can take out your earphones because I hear.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I hear
So
you now. Very.
the question is not a question to tell us a few things about you, Jorge, as a person. And before we start asking you, before we start bombarding you with questions concerning IPSC, so tell us a few things about Jorge.
Well, I'm Jorge Ballesteros. I'm shooting IPSC for more than 20 years. And well, I was born in the north of Spain. I moved to the center, to Madrid, when I was 6 with my family. And then I started school, and we live here until now. I started in IPSC in 1999, and officially in Spain I started in 2001 when I was 18 years old. But unofficially I was started in 1999.
So we also know that at the same time you are a police officer.
Yes, I'm police officer, but I'm not currently working in active way. I have like a break. I had like a break in 2019, and I turned professional into
So you have an unpaid leave in order to concentrate to IPSC.
Yeah,
Okay,
I have.
that's
Yeah, I have an IPSC leave, and I can come back whenever I want. That's the good thing.
that's a good thing. Yes.
It doesn't happen on every country, but here in Spain, being police officer for the national police, you can come back at any
That's
time.
very good. So, since our sport is not a well-known sport, is not a famous sport, and the majority of European people is reluctant to guns, what was it that made you take up the sport of practical shooting, and how did you learn about the existence of this particular sport, of our sport? Because it's not a common sport.
Well, I started because of my father. My father was also a policeman, and he started in this sport in the 80s. He was very good shooter. He was 7 times Spanish champion, and also my mother was a shooter as a shooter too. And they started previously than me, and yes, my father uh, uh, coached me, and I started to train me in the 90s, at the end of the 90s, and yes, I this is how I started.
Okay, that's very good. So it's, as I understand, it's a family tradition. Shooting is in your blood.
Yes, also my sister was after me, so I started in 1999, and I think my sister started in 2003 or something like
So
this. So yes, it's true that, as you say, it's not a very known sport in terms of general media coverage. You cannot see IPSC on your national TV or your regional TV, of course. But into the shooting sports, I think IPSC is getting a lot of popularity because of his visibility and because of the attractive, the dynamic, dynamic that this sport itself it has, right? It's getting
yeah.
more popular. It's
First
yeah.
of all, we should take a DNA sample from your family, because as I understand, you're a family of shooters. And also, as you have said, IPSC is very attractive because it's getting very competitive, and it's an active sport that needs at the same time strategy and concentration. That's our motto, actually.
Yeah, it's it's a very interesting shooting sport because it combines a lot of things. You have to be fast, you have to be accurate, and at the same time, psychologically, it's a very interesting sport. You have to be concentrated on every stage. Uh, it's a very complete, and also physically, you have to be physically well. I mean, it's not like other sports that requires a high demand in terms of physical. But this sport, it has a lot of conditions that makes us to be in shape,
Yeah.
right? We have to run, we have to move between positions fast. We need to hold the recoil properly in order to hit faster, to make faster our shots. I mean, it's a very interesting sport, and it's
Yeah,
very complete.
we have to combine a lot of things in order to be shooters. Also, in its mentality, and of course, most of all, in its discipline. Further on,
Yeah, we need to manage the stages, not only technically but also tactically. I mean, it's important to the way you play the stage, right? And it combines a lot of things and make you think a lot.
okay. So moving on, to achieve all of that you do so far, you need a lot of practice. Can you give us a small CV about your IPC background and your accomplishments so far? We know that you are an IPC world champion. Give us
Yeah.
a small CV about what have you done so far in the IPC, just for our viewers.
Well, I've been 16 times Spanish champion, 3 times European IPC champion, and I'm currently IPC world champion. Everything in the open division is the division I used to shoot, but I also shoot other divisions, standard, and I have shot in the past production also. I have won 2 times the World Police Games, and I have won also other big matches like Stream Euro Open that I have achieved 5 times. I, Extreme Eurasia Open, also like 3 or 4 times, Mediterranean Cup, or another level 3 matches. Yeah, this is more the brief of my sport achievements, right?
Not a small list, of course. So to achieve all that, to become an IPSC world champion, you need a lot of practice. That is the obvious thing. But what does your workout, your practice include in order to inform our shooters?
I give a lot of importance to the dry firing. Uh, um, it's very important to establish a common line in order to train. We need to know what we have to train, um, and it's a system. It's a training system, and most of the shooters start on the sport and don't have very clear idea of what to do. I think it's important to establish a common line and follow the line in order to improve and have a better
So
result.
your main key is a lot of dry fire, and I believe, of course, the consumptions
Yeah.
of ammunition, and quite a lot of one.
Well, people think that of course we have to shoot. This is shooting sport. Otherwise, we won't be here. We have to shoot. This is not a question, right? But the technical part of this sport is we are going to train it through the dry firing. I mean, you can do it also shooting. I mean, you can shoot rounds to I mean to get that technical part, but it will cost you more time and more money.
So, as I understand from my child's experience, dry fire corrects the details in order to win 1 second or the millisecond that you need to become a champion or to become competitive.
In this sport covers a lot of technical aspects, from the draw, uh, like movements on the sides, frontal movements, mark changes, you know, table drills. There's a lot of things that we don't need to shoot to improve our performance. I mean, there's a lot of movement and old movements. You can do it on dry firing. I mean, it's a matter of perfecting. Uh, when we perfect the movements, uh, we are able to process and to be more efficient through this in the States. So it's very important to make this routine at home, uh, and then we have more time and we can dedicate much more time for each technique separately.
Okay, so dry fire is an important part of your practice. Do you have any daily practice?
Well, that they my I want to be very clear on this. Dry firing is the 90% of the time I spend on shooting on this sport. On the sport, dry firing is for me is the most important thing on the sport, and this is because uh, technical the technical all the technical stuff is getting there. I mean, I go to the shooting range, of course. I do live firing, but when I do live firing, I try to concentrate, or I try to do what I can't do at home, and then it's recall management, make accuracy shots, on all this stuff. But when I try to train in a specific area, then I try to do it through the
Okay.
the dry
So,
fire.
do you have a daily practice routine that you can share with our viewers? Something standard that you do in your daily practice?
Yeah, I do a lot the draw. The draw is the basic technique. It's the draw is the most important technique. And one can maybe think why it's so important to train the draw, because I what many people think one 1.30 1.20 draw time is good. Yes, it's not about that. It's not about the time you are able to make the draw and make the first shot on the target. It's about the target acquisition. When we do the draw, we are doing target acquisition. So as much as we repeat this technique, we are perfecting the way my sight is coming to the target, the way I come into the target and extend my arms facing to the target. And it's a way of, each position, it's a draw. When you are coming to a window, when you are coming into a port, you are doing a draw. At the end, you are extending your arms, you are carrying the sides, and you are able to align the sides into the target and make the shot happen, right? So doing the draw really help you to improve this thing.
Okay. Do you have a specific amount of ammunition that you consume every day in your daily practice? For example, you go in shoot 100, 1,000
When
ammo per day, for example. Just a general example.
people don't trust me when I say that when I wore the last World Shoot, I shot in total in the full year a total of 20,000 rounds, and that was my maximum over my career. I have never shot in my life. I mean, it's not a question of shooting more; it's a question of practicing better. And this is what I teach in my courses. I teach people how to train more efficiently. And when I go to the range, I don't shoot more than 200, 250 rounds. But I try to apply each shot the most efficient as possible. I'm very strict on my training. I try to be I try to perfect every movement. I try to perfect every shot. So whatever you shoot, if you don't do it properly, your mind will be uh, your mind will be thinking about it, and your mind will be learning how you are doing that. So all this process is very, very important in order to make a better performance and be a better shooter. Um, this is how I work, and this is what I teach over the years to all my
So,
staff.
as I understand, before you pull the trigger, you have to be perfected in every move. Draw.
That's why it's so important to do the dry firing,
So,
because you will be able to do almost the perfect technique in order to apply it on the stage. If you come into the stage and you don't have a very perfected technique, then you are going to lose time. So at the end, this is a mix of many techniques at the same time that you put in practice on the stage. So if you don't perfect each technique separately through the training of the dry firing, probably you will be missing a lot of times or small times during the process of the stage.
and the other one is a clever training, and through that way you avoid to spend the ammunition.
Of course, when you go to the range, you are able to spend your ammunition in what you have to spend the ammunition. It's not about shooting and shooting and shooting and not doing anything clear. Whatever you do, it must be planned, and whatever you do, it has to be
Okay.
clear.
Crystal clear so far. So, what are the necessary preconditions for an athlete, an IPC shooter, who wants to be competitive?
Well, um, the preconditions, it's the motivation.
Motivation.
I mean, if you don't have the motivation, probably you will not be able to train, because this is like when we were in the school, when we were in the college. uh, the professor can give you the the books, but if you don't read them, you will not pass the exam. So this is the same. We have the we have the competitions. If we don't train to be a better shooter, we will not be able to improve. That's for sure.
So the main precondition is motivation.
That's the
The
first
first step.
step, and after is the routine of the training. That everything starts on dry firing and in combination with shooting range.
So
Of course, the physical aspect on this sport is important, but whoever thinks that only being physically well prepared is enough, he's wrong. I mean, this is a balance of many aspects. It's a balance of technique, that you are going to get it through the dry firing. This is a balance of accuracy, okay, and recoil management. That this is these aspects of the sport, you are going to get it on the shooting range, of course, and then uh, you know the physical aspect is also there. So the combination of these aspects is going to help you to
okay,
be better.
just
It's important also the way you do everything, because you don't have to do everything together. This is a process. This is something that you have to start with the easiest the easiest techniques, and after, when you are improving, when you are able to perfect or almost perfect that initial or that easier techniques, then you can go little bit furthermore, little bit further, and then you can start doing different things, right? But the most important is to start with the basics. Okay, the basics is the key of this sport, because if you try to, for example, try to start the practice of shooting on the move, and you are not able to make a proper draw, or even to make two alphas in a 15-meter target with certain regularity, uh, for what? I mean, this is like everything in life. You need to master first the basic parts of the sport in order to grow as a shooter.
so to summarize and to bulleting, what are your preconditions? Is dedication, is motivation, dedication, practice, physical condition, and everything you do is step by step.
Step by step. Don't be rash, and take your time. I mean, this is something, it doesn't happen in 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. It's coming. It's coming slowly. This is a very complicated sport, and whoever thinks he will be able to make everything in 1 or 2 years, uh, I mean, we are not Superman. We are persons. We have blood, uh, and also we have to. We don't live exclusively from this, because, of course, this is in general an amateur sport. We have families. We have work. So our limited time, we need to be very adequate, very appropriate. Our limited time we need to dedicate in order to be the most efficient as possible. The problem is that the people, or most of the shooters, try to make everything, and try to, put in practice whatever as soon as possible, and then when they are 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or even more year on the sport, they realize that they miss something, and they have to come back to be the beginning and start again. So when I recommend anybody to start on this sport, I always recommend to start with the basics and to follow the proper steps in order to don't to don't make mistakes that later on could be very difficult to solve. Because as much as you practice, more you interiorize everything, more difficult is to change the way you do the things. So I think it's very important to do the everything correctly from the beginning if you can do it. Uh, and if you are a shooter that you are in the sport many times and you want to do something for yourself, uh, just try to come back to the basics, because that's the key of this
So
of the sport.
when you get into a dead end, go back to the basic stuff at the beginning. Of course, to do it right in order to avoid bad habits. To have bad habits, because it's very difficult to correct bad habits, especially when you're getting older, like me.
That's it. That's it. And more you practice the bad habits, more difficult is to change them. Uh, so it's really necessary to stop doing that in order to don't memorize or interiorize them, and come back to the beginning. It's the most important thing. And of course, if you don't know how to do determined things, is to find a good instructor to show you how to do properly
Okay.
the things. This is how it works. Because you can watch videos, you can see, learn or read books, whatever. But if you want to really improve, uh, it's necessary to have a good instructor to show you how
So
to do the
my next
proper things.
my next question is, what is the importance of coach, of an instructor, in the evolution of an athlete?
Sorry, I didn't
What is
hear
the
you.
importance of a trainer, of a instructor, of a coach in the evolution of an athlete?
Well, the importance of the instructor is very high, but also to the student to follow what the instructor says. Because, okay, I'm giving courses more than 15 years. Um, and I have find many people, many shooters who just take a class, and they think that when we finish the class, they will know everything, and they will able to apply everything and whatever. But this is not the reality. I mean, if you take a class, it's because you want to learn and you want to know what to do. But it takes a lot of time to change your habits. So it's not like you do a class. It's not like you do a high level class, and because you have done a high level class, you will be able to shoot and win the national championship. I mean, uh, it takes a lot of time to change the things, and you need to train, and you need the dedication, and this is basic. This is like this.
And another thing, I understand that probably is a Mediterranean bad habit. Sometimes we know better than our instructor, and
That's not
sometimes
sometimes
we know
what.
better than our instructor. Is
Well, I think that the people who take the class is people who want to learn. Well, in general, uh, in general. And of course, if you take a class with somebody, it's because you think that instructor is going to teach you something, right? So I think it's more
okay.
than that. So I think it works this way.
As you said, you took courses for 15 years all over Europe. What is your method, and what do they include? Are they adjustable to shooters' experience and level?
Uh, The last part of your
Are
question.
they
It was
adjustables
cut.
to shooters experience and level? Do you have several levels of courses? Beginners, for example.
Okay. Yeah, I do coaching worldwide. I mean, not only in Europe. I do coaching in Asia and America. So it's my shooting courses have different levels. I have the height level 1 and the height level 2. Of course, my courses are not initial courses, are not basic courses. So all the people, all the shooters who like to attend a course, they must have their IPSC license. They must have the basic uninitiate course. Of course, that it's the minimum to get to be safe shooter and to know all the safety rules and everything. So yes, the high level 2, the high level 1, it covers all the different techniques that are common in the competitions. You can see all the different stuff there, and the high level 2 is more about competition. It's about shooting stages, and it's all about tactics, combination of that techniques that have been already taught in the high level 1. So to be short in this, the high level 1, it covers on the separate way each technique, and then the high level 2, it mix all techniques together in different stages.
Okay, totally understandable. As far as I know, you work together with Bull Armory in the field of practical shooting, and you provide not only your promotion but also your feedback, your opinion, in order to develop several guns or whatever. What is the importance of the right equipment and the right outfit for an athlete?
uh, the most important thing is to feel comfortable with your equipment, and this is very very important. You cannot shoot whatever because you see that is promoted or whatever. You need to fit whatever you shoot, so you need to be comfortable. And usually top athletes use the top quality products. So in my case, I use Bull Armory as gun. Um, they are my sponsor, and I shoot Bull Armory, and I shoot the Ballesteros open gun because it fits my needs perfectly. Otherwise, I will not be shooting with this gun or with this or for this brand. This is something very very important, that top athlete is going to choose also always brands that fit their need and consider them as the highest level products.
Okay, so it's the alpha and omega, the right outfit for the shooter. So,
Yes, it's important. It's important to fit your needs, and it's important to feel comfortable with your equipment. That's
an
basic.
elder told me previous ago that the best gun is the one that fits perfectly in your hand. That's the best gun. Because I asked him, what is the best gun? The one that perfectly fits in your hand. In your hand.
Well, it's not all only about that. It's not only about that, but it's also reach the trigger. How hard you reach the trigger, how much recoil has that gun. Uh, it's a lot of aspects. I wouldn't say only that it fits your grip perfectly, but also how you pull the trigger. If it's too hard, how much space you have to leave on the trigger, how much the gun recoils. It's a lot of aspect to cover
Okay.
in this way. Yes.
So, you have traveled a lot, you have competed all around the world. Which match competition made a special impression on you about? What was your favorite one?
Well, I've been competing a lot, but well, I have good memories from certain championships. I remember with um, very nice memories. The world shoot from South Africa. It was my first world shoot in 2002. I think it was amazing in terms of decorations, uh, in terms of stages in general. It was also important to be my first world shoot. So yes, I have really good memories from this match. Also, the one from Ecuador, the world shoot from Ecuador in 2005, reminds me very good memories too. So um, these probably are my favorites. In terms of shooting range and so on. The last world shoot, it was probably the biggest shooting range I've ever been. The range was huge. Even having the same stages, 30 stages, the bays were maybe 100 meters long, 50 meters wide. Each bay was something like that, so it was really crazy and really interesting to shoot in bays of these
Yeah.
dimensions, right? In terms of quality of stages, strategies, and so on, I think that all the extreme Europens are and other matches of this style are really good in order to learn how to manage uh, the proper or the good performance in on a stage, because it combines very nicely the way the targets are set. Also combines very well the way the strategy that you can do. You have different options all the time, and all these options are very similar on time. So any if you do one thing or other thing, the time will be approximately about the same, but you can get some risk sometimes, other times not. So I really like this kind of stage. You see, someone who have the opportunity to shoot these extreme matches is really recommended. Um, I don't know. There's so many places with good matches out there, but what I used to attend is these extreme matches that really worth to do it.
Okay. So Ecuador and South Africa are quite exotic places. I've never been there. So IPSC also is a way of traveling, also.
IPSC, yeah, it's one of the best things of the IPSC. We travel, we meet new people. Uh, it's you can also have the opportunity not only to shoot the match, but also to know the place you are visiting, uh, meet
Yeah.
new people. Uh, I don't know. I think it gives you a lot. In over these 20 years that I'm practicing this sport, I think that I wrote a lot, not only as shooter, but also as a person, because it has given me a lot. It has given me uh, all what I am. So it's awesome. It's
So,
amazing.
uh, apart from the United States, which country do you think is the most advanced in our sport, and why? Because United States, it's far beyond from us.
Yeah, yeah. Well, of course, the United States is
The leader.
the the born the yeah, this sport was born in the United States, so of course
Actually,
they
I
are
I
probably
think.
the first country in terms
Sorry for interrupting you. I
of
think this sport
yeah.
started from Rhodesia in Africa. I think I'm sure, but right now United States is the leader of IPSC, and of course is the main consumer of IPSC.
Yeah, of course. We have to take in count how many firearms license are there in the United States. So I think that almost every citizen has a license, uh, or maybe one license per two citizens or something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of license. There's a lot of license, and uh, it, it's being it's been reflected on the on shooting, right? Lot of firearms, and this sport is one sport more. Of course, it cannot be compared with basketball or football or other or tennis or more discovered sport, but anyway, it's there is a big sport. Other countries that is popular, Brazil is a very popular sport. They have a lot of shooters. Thailand, it's another country with a lot of shooters too, with a lot of activity, IPSC activity. And in Europe, I think Czech Republic or even Germany are places where this sport is big. So I think there's quite a few places where this is sport. But in general, this sport is growing a lot, and we have, I think, more than 80 countries already that where IPSC is practiced. So yeah, it's getting
It's
big.
getting bigger and bigger. So, what do you think are the preconditions to boost a country's IPSC?
The
To boost
preconditions for
a country's IPSC, to
oh
become
yeah
more
to
popular, to attract more
yeah
people as
yeah
athletes.
yeah. I think that the firearms law, the ammunition law is the precondition. Uh, I think that if the law is very strict, uh, then it's very complicated to make this sport grow. In certain countries, it's very complicated that this sport will grow because of the hard restrictions, right? Some countries have very hard restrictions in terms of firearms, others in ammunition or quantity of primers or powders or whatever. Other countries have restrictions in terms of calibers or even shooting ranges. Uh, I mean, this is the most important, you know, thing to be considered in order to have a high level of activity of this sport.
So I think that the main problem around, specific around Europe, are the laws that they exist, and most of them are against guns, against ammunitions, against a lot of things. There are.
Yes, in general, we have this problem. There's some specific countries, like for example in Czech Republic, they they are they don't have so many restrictions, so then the sport can grow much more. So this is the clear sample that when you have a country that respect the firearms and allow their citizens to own firearms, it's easy to make the
So,
sport grow.
bottom line, the main important ingredient to boost Kansas IPSC are the restrictions, to lift some restrictions concerning the guns and the ammunition. Total clear and clarified. So, moving on, you have
Yeah.
later on we will discuss and we'll make a comparison between Spain and Greece to see what are the differences concerning the organization, the confederation, the restrictions that they exist. So we'll discuss later on. Now, you have competed with great shooters so far. Who made a special impression on you and why?
We have a sample in Spain. There's a guy who is in a wheelchair and is shooting.
Fernando.
His name is Fernando.
Hola, Fernando.
And this guy really impressed me from the first day I saw him. This guy had an accident. He was already adult, and he started this sport with so much motivation and so much illusion, and you can see him on almost every match we have in Spain. So this guy really have all my respect, and I really have very good and very nice consideration on him. It's I think is very it says a lot of this, and we would like to see more things like
he
this.
has earned also our respect for his motivation and his dedication, and it will be a great honor for us to have a small discussion with him how he deals his shooting life in a wheelchair. That's a hero for me.
And he's shooting amazing. You will not be able. There's some videos out there in Facebook. You have the opportunity to see him. It's amazing. Even in that condition, he's able to shoot really fast. And even if in the short stages like speed shoots, just in one position, he's able to beat most of the shooters. It's really
yeah,
amazing.
I think that he's a role model for our community and a very good example. So, can you tell us a spicy incident concerning behaviors?
Behaviors on IPSC. I think that we need to play fair. I think in general, I see most of the shooters are fair, but sometimes you can find some shooters who are always arguing with the arrows about their scoring and trying to get targets when thinking and protesting about two alphas on the same hole and all this stuff, and all this are certain shooters. I'm not talking in general, but there's some shooters like this, and I think this kind of things should be punished. I mean, if you have somebody who is all the time doing this thing, I think somehow it should be punished in a competition. I mean, not with the disqualification, but maybe with some advert or some
a yellow card. A yellow card.
Yeah. Because okay, if you have never seen somebody to do that, it's okay. But these kind of things always come from the same shooter. So this is something that should be solved.
It's a misconduct and it's a misbehavior when you're complaining all the times, and when you're trying to come up with something, earning something concerning your score and so on. I know a lot of guys of doing this. Is an attitude. It's a bad attitude, and it's becoming a habit. It's becoming a habit, a bad habit.
It's something that is not common, but sometimes you see these people.
So, do you think that we have a fair play in our sport?
In general, there's fair play, but I think that the ones who have to follow and to make this sport fair play, and the responsibility to have the fair play are the arrows. I mean, the range officers have all the responsibility in this term, and in general, I see very good range officers, and they they make their job, and they, I really appreciate a lot the work of the range officer, because they have to spend a lot of time in the range, and with a shooter many times we don't see that, but they are there more than 10, 12 hours at a full day, with the sun hitting 40 degrees, 40 degrees or more, and it's crazy, and they do just because they like the to do it. I mean, this is really really something to appreciate, and to say thank you to them. And in general, I see that there's fair play, but sometimes, of course, there's, of course, sometimes exceptions. uh, you see sometimes certain arrows that make some kind of things that probably are not very polite. But in general, they are or they should be the ones who keep this fair
I
play
thought
for all. Because even if the shooters want to cheat, if the arrow is there and he is a good arrow, he's objective, he shouldn't be able to let make
I
that
totally agree
hit.
with you. I believe that the range master should guard the behavior of the shooters. And from my perspective, they are the masters of the field. So every decision should be respected. But first of all, they should respect themselves. And they can do that by knowing the rules, by being precise. And sometimes they have to be absolute in order to deal with misbehaviors and misconduct. That's my point of view. So
That's it. That's it.
let's say
I'm agree.
something else. So, for example, in Greece, talking about Greece, because we have to speak, of course, for Greek IPSC, we have great competitions like Mediterranean Extreme Open. You've been there. You have met with Kostas Halkopoulos, who is a perfectionist. We have a lot of great competitions like our nationals,
Yes.
who are very competitive, who is very
The Mediterranean is very, very, very nice
and
competition. I really recommend, because that range is huge, lot of stages. Yeah, I have attended once, but I was there also for the World Shoot, in the, and they have really, really extraordinary.
So I think Kostas is expecting you, and we're expecting you for the next May 2022 in October. But nevertheless, we have our nationals, who is a very competitive match. We have the Canal Challenge. We have a lot of great competitions that shooters can combine with vacations. Because after you mentioned before about Ecuador,
Yeah, it's amazing. Greece is a nice,
that's why
very, very nice place. It's not only about the quality of the competitions that you have, but also about that you can take vacations with the family. You can come to the matches and spend 1 week there in the sea, in the Mediterranean. It's amazing. It's really,
So
really a best
for
mix.
me, it's a very good combination: sport and vacations. In Greece, it's an open invitation for all the shooters, because IPSC is not connecting only people, but connecting also cultures and places to see. I think that you have the best memories for places from Greece, from South Africa, and from Ecuador that you have mentioned before. But we have great competitions that shooters can enjoy shooting, and at the same time to enjoy their vacation in beautiful Greece. Nevertheless,
I'm totally
so
agree.
that
Totally
was
agree. Looking
that was a
forward
small
to
introduction for the next question. What was your first match in Greece, and what were your impressions?
I have attended in Greece several competitions. About my last competition there, I think it was the Mediterranean match there in Rhodos. It was amazing. It was really, really, really nice match. I really enjoyed all the stages. I met a lot of shooters, really, really nice people. Very Greek shooters are very joyful. I mean, I have very, very good relation with many of Greek shooters. I think we are very similar. I mean, Spanish shooters, Spanish people and Greek people,
Yeah.
we are Mediterraneans, and we are almost about the same personality, and I think we have very nice combination, very
I
nice
think you may recall
relation.
a tall, huge guy playing with you in Rhodes during the Meo. Kostas is the best friend of mine, so he said, his regards. You were together there. So, what?
I'm forgetting. I also planning to come over Greece. I'm also planning to make a shooting course in Crete. So I was I was remember that we have also shooting course in Crete ready for next July, and more information will come very soon. But I will be there. I will be there in Crete,
So it will be a
the
pleasure
island.
also to advertise this course in Crete, where it's the country that I learn how to shoot. So it's my motherland concerning shooting.
I, I will send you all the information to share, and I hope many of you and many of Greek shooters
Okay, my
will be
club is
able to
from
come.
Creta, is Asok, Chania, and I have to admit that I'm an immigrant of love in Creta. My origins are not from there, but nevertheless, it's a personal issue. So, generally, what do you think about Greek IPSC athletes that you have compete?
I think they have potential. I mean, they are very sharp shooters, and they have potential. But I think it's like it's as always. Many places happen the same. I think it's like they don't have much clear about the training. I think they don't follow like a specific training, and they do what they think is better. But sometimes you have to follow a certain line in order to grow your results and get a better performance. I think this is something that is missing a little bit in the Greek shooters. Not about the matches, because I think the matches have a very high quality, but I think something is missing a bit about the training. I think they don't train the most efficient way. I think it's a little bit like this, but it happens not only happen in Greece, it happens in a lot of places.
We have a lot of restrictions and a lot of obstacles concerning our training in Greece. Uh, we will discuss it with the next question, which is can you tell us a few things about IPC in Spain concerning the organization? Is the IPSC shooting in the IPC in Spain an independent confederation?
Yeah,
Is a part of a general
yeah,
shooting confederation? What about the restrictions in order to compare it
yeah,
with Greece? Because in Greece we have a lot of restrictions and a lot of obstacles in order to become competitive. And I think according with what we have,
yeah,
we're good enough.
yeah. In Spain, it's about the same. We have a lot of restrictions. I mean, uh, first of all, we are not an independent federation. IPSC is not independent federation. We are inside the Olympic Federation, and the Shooting Olympic Federation. It has a lot of sports, and we are included into this circle, right? Um, of course, this makes us to make things differently in comparison with other countries. And we have our main restriction. It's about the shooting ranges, because for each competition or each event we need to request for a special authorization to be able to make it happen. So trainings, for example, if you want to train, you need to have a special authorization to make that training. So it's kind of where how it works in Spain. Also, we have a lot of restrictions about ammunition. We have limitation in primers, powder, Each time that you go to the gun shop, you cannot get more than 100 primers or 100 ammunition. We have really restriction on this way. So it's complicated. Sometimes it's complicated.
So more or less we have the same restrictions, but can you produce your own ammo, your own ammunition?
Yeah, we can reload. It's one of the advantages that's safe, because reloading your own ammunition, you are able to have more ammo than if you don't reload.
That's a very good asset. And do you have a limit? And how many ammo can you reload? Or it's unlimited?
You cannot storage. No, it's not. You cannot storage. You cannot storage more than 200 rounds. I think 1 kilo of powder and 200 primers. This is the limitation that we currently have. Yeah, it's complicated. Even reloading, you can have. I mean, you can have your ammo, but it cannot be in a big quantity.
Yeah, understand. In order to reload, have you taken any specific seminar for safety reasons?
Yes.
Approved by
yes.
by the police or generally?
Yes, it's approved. Yeah, yes, it's approved by police, and it's a special license to be able to reload. You have your authorization, then you can buy your machine, your reloading machine, and then you can start reloading. But it must be approved by the, in this case, Guardia Civil. That is the one other national.
With a specific seminar, you have to participate in a specific course.
You have to do a specific seminar. It's not difficult, but you have to pass a theory exam, and then you get the license. Normally gun shops are the ones who make this kind of courses or
okay, that's a very good info, because in Greece we don't have the luxury of reloading, and this is a struggle. Yes, and this is a struggle what we have in order to gain.
It's a pity, because that's in IPSC it's very important, and of course the original ammunition is very expensive, and people don't shoot so much that
it's not only to produce quantity, to produce ammo for shooting, but also to adjust your ammo to your hand. Because in Greece, unfortunately, because we don't have the right to reload, we have to adjust our hand to the ammunition that we buy from the market. Instead of having our own ammunition that we know the reloading, we know the power, we know the powder, we know everything about it, and it's adjustable in our needs. That's my perspective concerning the reloading. Not the quantity, but the way we practice with the ammunition. So, what role do clubs play in Spanish IPSC? For example, in Greece, you have to be a member of a club.
They organize the matches and the participants. This is what they do.
So, since IPSC, for my perspective, maybe you disagree, is considered a small market, do you think that there is enough space for professional athletes like you, for example?
IPSC is growing. In the past, things were different, but I think IPSC globally is growing in very, very big steps. So I think in the next future we will be able to see more professional shooters, because also more brands will be involved, and this sport, as I said before, is the most dynamic and the most spectacular of the shooting disciplines. So it's very, very nice for the people to see, and you can see that on the media, on the social media and YouTube channel, you can almost all what you see about gun firearms is
IPSC.
about dynamism, practical, and so on. I think it has a lot of power, a lot of potential.
So
in the
I believe
future.
in order to grow, we need to promote our sport with the best way, using YouTube, Facebook, or whatever, in order to promote our sport, because that's the way.
Yeah, and today we are living in a world that each time people see
Yeah.
what they want to see. Before with the TV, we have to watch
Yeah.
what the TV shows. But today we are able to watch what
Not
we
only that,
want.
but
So
not only that,
that's
but the means now are cheap, are free most of the time, and an average guy like me can use it in order to promote what he likes. And what we're doing right now here in Just an IPSC Shooter is to promote what we love, which is IPSC. So, Jorge, reaching the end of our conversation, what are your goals and plans for the future?
Well, my plans for the future is difficult. Sometimes it's difficult to set. But very short plans is to attend the World Shoot this year in Thailand, and try to be competitive and try to make that second title again. Of course, I would like to keep doing what I do. I mean, I represent Bull Armory. I shoot for them, and my future, I would like to be linked to Bull Armory. I would like to stay shooting open for some more years, and do coachings. I have my shooting academy, the worldwide, and yes, this is the plan to keep doing what I'm doing right now.
So, Jorge, we wish you all the best. We wish you to achieve all of your dreams concerning IPSC. We would like to thank you for being here with us today and sharing your knowledge, sharing your experience, and helping us with this amateur effort in order to promote IPSC, to give voice to shooters, and to connect people. Thank you very much about that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this interview. I think it was very interesting, and I hope that people, all the shooters that are watching us, I hope they like it. Hope to meet you soon on the range.
See you in Greek competition, especially in Mediterranean Extreme in October. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
I hope to be there. Bye bye. Bye. See you.
So this is the end of our live streaming with a great shooter, a world champion, Jorge Ballesteros. We thank him, and I think we're trying step by step to promote what we love. Thank you very much for watching us, and remember, double alpha your life.